your ruler, Zod. Your lands, your possessions, your very lives will gladly be given in tribute to me.
What's up, everybody? So this is going to be my review of Ant-Man 3 and Quantumania. So I remember when this movie came out, I did a couple reactions to other reviewers' takes on the movie, and I still agree. I still agree with a lot of complaints of valid problems. But with that being said, I think people are way too harsh on this movie. Like, it wasn't as bad as it was made out to be. I gotta say that I was, you know, I was expecting it to be a lot worse. So maybe because I went in with my expectations so low, I was pleasantly surprised. But anyways, let's jump into it. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. The first things I'll note off with the movie is the movie starts out super corny. Like, obviously you have to know the backstory. You have to have seen Ant-Man 1, you have to have seen Ant-Man 2, you have to have seen Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame to understand the plot line in the beginning of the movie. Otherwise you otherwise you just be completely confused and not understand why Cassie's an adult now, right? So anyways, and not only that, not only her being an adult, but Scott being famous, known as an Avenger, etc., etc., etc. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Okay, let's jump into it. My first complaints about the movie starts off really corny. I don't think it needed to be that corny. I understand that Paul Rudd's strengths are his comedy and upbeat type of stuff, but this didn't come off as like that. This came off as corny right at the beginning of the movie. So it was too corny at the beginning of the movie. Also, they went way too fast. They didn't have any build up. There was no build up at all whatsoever. They just, well, before I get to that, okay, so this is part of the instantly going into, like, there being no build up. This is part of the problem of how there was also no build up, but this is an entire other problem. I'm gonna try and talk about both without going on a long rant about one. But so another problem is the whole Riri Williams type stuff. So Riri Williams is a comic that didn't sell well in, like, the 2000, or I don't know, like, when did it come out, like 2010 or something? I don't know the exact date when it came out, but it came out like over a decade ago. It didn't sell well. No one liked it. No one's interested in it. It's a stupid premise. The premise is this young African American hood girl who grows up in the ghetto, steals some of Tony Stark's equipment, and then builds her own Iron Man suit and becomes the next Iron Man, and she's called Ironheart. So the whole premise is the premise that I am ridiculing. Not only that, that's what I just said was completely stupid, but the premise I am ridiculing is the idea of these teenage girl super geniuses that just pull their super genius out of their ass, right? Peter Parker doesn't pull his super genius out of his ass. He was studying science and math and all that stuff his entire life, and in some iterations his father was also a super genius scientist. So he's been studying all his life, winning all these awards all his life, even before he became Spider-Man. So he was, but these characters, these girls, just all of a sudden, oh, I read a couple books and now I'm a super genius, right? Okay, so it's ridiculous. So basically, the premise is that during Endgame, while Hank Pym and the Wasp and her mother were all turned to dust, and Ant-Man, Scott Lang, was trapped in the quantum realm for 5 years. Cassie became a super genius, right? So the plot is she became a super genius and she just built this thing that's super advanced and can travel to the quantum realm. So they just start talking about all the, like, they're at dinner, they start talking about it, and then bam, like literally a minute later they're getting sucked into the quantum realm. There was no build up whatsoever. Cassie's a super genius. They all get sucked in the quantum realm. There's right at the beginning of the movie, there's barely any build up, and it was super bad pacing. It was terrible pacing. The idea that Cassie's a super genius is ridiculous. They put her on par with Peter Parker's intelligence, and that's absolutely ridiculous. And I also think it's really stupid that they gave her her own Ant-Man suit. You can't just give everyone an Ant-Man suit. You take away from Ant-Man being Ant-Man. You take away from the character, right? There's no if everyone's Ant-Man, no one's Ant-Man. If everyone's a 10, no one's a 10. If everyone's rich, no one's rich. So I didn't like that they gave her her own Ant-Man suit. So anyways, that aside, that bad pacing and those problems at the beginning of the movie aside, the whole majority of the middle meat and potatoes of the movie was pretty good. It was pretty, I liked it. It was a fun sci-fi action adventure. I liked all of the elements. I really liked Kang. Oh man, I got the chills when Wasp's mother, what's her name, Janet? I think that's her name. I'm bad at remembering like supporting characters' names. So Janet, her Wasp's mom. Okay, so she's working with Kang, and she just met him. She doesn't know that she doesn't know his backstory yet. So she touches his ship, and it, like, his power core or whatever, like his power energy source, like gives her a flash of all of his memories, right? And so the memories basically show him on all of these timelines of all of existence of the time stream and many multiverses, just destroying worlds, ending timelines, completely massacring worlds and timelines, and conquering, right? And she's like, oh my goodness, what did I just see? And so she's like spooked, as anyone would be spooked. And then he's like trying to calm her down, like, because he's like, don't freak out. I need you to help me. You got what I want. I'm this close. I gotta finesse. I'm this close. Hey, come on, chill. Give me what I want. So, and then she's like, no. And, but so he's trying to persuade her, and she asks, well, if I give you what you want and you get out, what will you do? And he stands up and he's like, I'll win. Dude, that was awesome. I liked it. And then yeah, so the whole Kang thing, I don't know why people were complaining. I thought Kang was cool. I thought it was a perfect continuation of the cool really like Loki had its problems, but the ending of Loki was really cool. I thought the ending of Loki was really cool in the setup to Kang and all these different timelines and all these other Kangs fighting each other and timeline multiverse wars. I thought that was really cool. So anyways, the whole movie goes on. You know, they defeat Kang. Most of the movie was good. Bill Murray was barely there for like one scene. He was in one scene. I don't know why he was even in the trailer, to be honest. The only reason they put him in the trailer was to give everyone blue balls to say, oh, look, Bill Murray's in the movie, but he's only in one scene, so they shouldn't even put him in the trailer. Anyways, they defeat Kang. Here's where the problems come in with the end. So the movie's almost over. Everything's pretty good so far. There was a very climatic battle ending, like wrapping things up. It was really good. A lot of fights. I do have a problem with how they handled MODOK, because they turned, that is not MODOK. I will say that's a valid complaint. That is a valid complaint. That was horrible how they did that. But it was kind of pathetic too, what they did with his character. I don't like Derek and MODOK are not the same character, and they just kind of combined them and turned it into this really pathetic amalgamation. So anyways, I didn't like that. And then another problem was everything was going pretty good. Scott, I keep trying to call him Ant-Man, but I don't. That's the problem, is like I don't want to confuse, because there's like 3 different people, 4 actually, with different Ant-Man powers, right? Because even Hank's got his own powers. He doesn't. It's not wearing a suit, but so Scott. Everyone else escaped. They escaped the quantum realm. Everyone's back to safety. Scott is staying behind to fight Kang. He's in a climatic battle with Kang. Right? Everything's going good. They didn't have to do it. This didn't ruin it for me. This is a complaint for some other people. This didn't necessarily ruin it for me. But I understand, like, it was kind of lame that they had to do this. Wasp comes back to save the day. She didn't have to. That didn't have to be the way it went down, but it's not that big a deal. But here's where it gets really stupid. The portal closes, and they're stuck, right? They're stuck. But now, because Cassie's such a super genius and can just willy-nilly travel back and forth from the quantum realm whenever the heck she wants to, because she's such a super genius, something that Hank Pym couldn't do, something that Janet couldn't do for 60 years, something that the most advanced, powerful technology conquering being in the entire existence of the timeline and all time streams and all universes and all multiverses could not do. Cassie can just open and close willy-nilly. So that was kind of corny and stupid. One final complaint, and this is kind of a cringe. This was kind of a cringe line that they made Michael Douglas deliver, where he was trying to like make an argument for pro-socialism because of how the ants advanced their ant society in the time that they had spent in the quantum realm. Thought that was stupid. But other than that, it was a pretty entertaining, fun movie. And you know, a lot of those things turned it into a mediocre film, but it wasn't as terrible as it was made out to be. So if you liked Ant-Man 1 and you like Ant-Man 2 and you like some of the other MCU movies, you haven't seen this, you like you like fun adventure movies with a lot of eye candy and, you know, some comedy, this is a good movie. It's good. And also the end credit scene is pretty cool. I enjoyed the end credit scene. It made, well, there's two end credit scenes. There's one end credit scene that shows all the other Kangs getting ready to invade, which is really cool. And then it shows a preview for Owen Wilson and Loki for Loki season 2. Alright, so I'm gonna wrap it up. I appreciate you guys for watching this video, and please like, subscribe, and all of that. And 96% of you are not yet subscribed, so that means more if you're not yet subscribed. A bunch of you, that helps me out. I appreciate it, and I'll catch you in the next video, guys. Peace out.